So, George, how many nuclear power plants are there in the United States of America?
Well, there are 61 nuclear power plants with 99 nuclear reactors in 30 states.
Where, which states?
The states that have nuclear power plants are Illinois, Pennsylvania, Arkansas, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, Maryland, Texas, Nebraska, Connecticut, Minnesota, Virginia, New Jersey, Arizona, Massachusetts, yada yada yada, Wisconsin, Florida, New Hampshire, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Kansas.
Which one is the closest to Northbrook? Because I heard you say Illinois has some.
The closest power plant in Illinois is in Zion, which is very close to Wisconsin.
Zion. All right. What percentage of Americans get their power from nuclear power plants?
19.7 actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right. I guess that's all the time we have for today. We'll see you soon.
This picture shows the closest nuclear power plant to us in Northbrook in Zion, near Wisconsin. There are also over 99 reactors in the U.S. These are usually placed on naval ships, however, and keep them fueled to over 30 years. This map shows all of the nuclear power plants. These are some pictures of a nuclear power plant. J, which is the cooling tower, I think is one of the most important parts, because if it gets too hot, it can cause a nuclear reaction and can blow up.
Nuclear power facilities are also much safer than coal mines, as long as they're maintained.
Oh my god, Jonah, it's melting. Oh my god.
No.
So, Jonah, what's our nation's history with nuclear power?
Although we primarily use coal in our country's history, we have started making the transition to nuclear power because the benefits of using nuclear power outweighs the ones in coal power. So, what's another reason why that nuclear power is better?
Well, nuclear power is better than coal power plants because one major reason is that they don't emit greenhouse gases. A typical coal power plant can end up producing 300,000 tons of waste ash and sludge every year.
That residue forms a toxic mess with pollutants such as arsenic, cadmium, chromium, and mercury, while nuclear power plants only generate 20 metric tons of waste annually.
A very big disaster that shows why nuclear power plants always aren't such a good idea is Chernobyl. On April 26, 1986, the worst world nuclear accident happened in Chernobyl power plant near Pripyat, Ukraine. This was in the Soviet Union at the time, and there was an explosion and fire in the number 4 reactor, which sent radioactivity into the atmosphere. So the New York Times reported this accident on April 29th, and the Soviet Union finally said that this happened after Finland, Sweden, and Denmark had reported a bunch of high radioactivity levels in their skies. So this happened when they wanted to test to see how the plant would operate if it happened to lose power. But along the way to test it, the plant operators made a bunch of mistakes, creating a poisonous and unstable environment near the core of the reactor. But they proceeded with the experiment, and they ended up shutting down safety systems that would be lost during the power outage, including the turbine system that provided cooling. And so when the reactor began to boil and turn to steam, the operators tried to use certain rods called reinsert rods to slow and control the reaction. But there's a design flaw in these rods which caused them to jam, and then the steam caused the explosion in the reactor. And the debris from the explosion set out a number of fires around the Chernobyl plant. It released a bunch of radioactive smoke into the atmosphere that spread over Europe. And the release of the radiation estimated to be 400 times the size of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The event directly killed about 30 to 50 people, but thousands of others were affected, including children and animals with birth defects from the radiation.
Coal mines can cave in while nuclear power plants are completely safe under ideal conditions. Nuclear power plants don't use any fuel such as coal or natural gas. Instead, they use uranium fuel, which is consisted of ceramic pellets. They produce electricity through a process called nuclear fission.
Nuclear fission is either a nuclear reaction or radioactive decay process in which the nucleus of an atom splits into smaller parts.
We think nuclear power is better than coal power because
Nuclear power plants produce no greenhouse gases and make more power!
Well, thanks for watching.